Members of 5 local Catholic parishes are suing the Buffalo diocese. The parishes are trying to stop money from their individual church bank accounts from going toward the church's $150 million priest sex abuse settlement. Blessed Sacrament, Our Lady of Peace, St. Bernadette, St. Aloysius Gonzaga, and St. John were all ordered to merge with other parishes as part of the diocese's Road to Renewal program. Those mergers are on hold while the Vatican considers appeals. The lawsuit says the diocese is defying the Vatican's order to hold off on these mergers by requiring the parishes to pay up to 80% of their available cash by next week, next Tuesday, in fact. The parishioners are asking a judge for a temporary pause on those payments.
Meanwhile, the diocese says it will not comment on the lawsuit. It does say it is fully cooperating with the legal process. Attorneys who filed the lawsuit also declined to comment. They say the lawsuit speaks for itself. To talk more about this lawsuit and the mergers, we are joined right now by Mary Pruski with Save Our Buffalo Churches. Mary, thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, absolutely. So this has been a long-fought battle for you guys with Save Our Buffalo Churches.
Yes.
Obviously, this is just the next step. So if you don't mind filling in people who might not know what exactly is going on right now, what is the current status?
Once again, thank you for giving us some airtime, because it's difficult to keep our story live and updated for folks since we can't talk inside our churches about this. So what's happening now? Save Our Buffalo Churches took the canon law recourse to push back against the diocese, against just the closing and the mergers. The Vatican said for many of our parishes, stop, on hold, we're examining this. And now this new wave from the diocese to take money out of the parishes and use it towards the bankruptcy settlement to fund the poor victims of all the pedophilia that happened. They introduced this settlement, and they're saying it's a gift. It's something that you need to give. And it's okay to say that in a certain percentage, but what they've done to all the parishes that are merging is say, we're taking 80% in right now. For some parishes that are struggling, that is their bottom line. They may not even have that 80% anymore, which endangers the parish from remaining viable. Right. Yet the Vatican said, you got to stay. You can be okay. Continue on your current plan, and many of these parishes are doing well. The people are donating.
So 2 questions on that, if you will. I had this question since the very beginning. What happens if Tuesday's deadline comes and goes and some of these churches do not pay because either they agree with this lawsuit or they're going to wait till this? So there are deadlines out there. So what happens if they don't pay? And then what happens if some of these churches do and they basically are forced to go insolvent because they don't have any money left?
Okay. What happens if they don't pay? The diocese said they will charge them interest on what they have not paid, because some parishes may pay some, saying we want to contribute, but we can't do all of this. It'll hurt our community where we have food pantries and other things. So the diocese says we'll impose extra interest on it, and that doesn't make sense because they say it's a gift. How do you charge interest on a gift?
Good point.
Yes. So what it would, especially if there's a lot of parishes that don't pay or pay partially, the diocese is going to have to go back and decide where else can they look for the money. Can they take out loans? Other dioceses have figured this out without hurting their parishes. We're saying we need to look at some of that.
So you will be in court tomorrow. Any idea what could come out of this appearance?
Yeah, I like to be clear that many of our parishes that are part of Save Our Buffalo Churches will be in court. It's not our whole organization. They're parallel to us. They're our friends. So we support them, but it's not exactly a Save Our Buffalo Churches effort, but they are our parishes. So what happens tomorrow is, as I understand it, because I'm not deep with the group, the judge will listen to all of the arguments. And again, it's just for these selected churches that are working together. And there's 9 now. I know you've been saying 5, there's 9. And others could join if they're at that 80% level. So we'll wait and see. If they grant the injunction, the papers say that this should stay in place until we hear from the Vatican. And that, again, it could be a 2-year wait. So that would be great in order to find other ways that we can help the diocese fund this rather than take everything from the parishes.
So there could be because the reason the diocese says they imposed this July 15th deadline is because they believe they have to hit deadlines for the ongoing bankruptcy case out of Rochester. So they say, we're trying trying to adhere to the court deadlines. We need this money by this date. Now, this additional court case, the lawsuit that we're talking about here, the one you're going, or the one that people are going to tomorrow, that could actually put a stop on the diocese plans for July 15th, right? I mean, a judge could step in and say, no, that deadline does not exist.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And it's for the parishes that are mentioned in this lawsuit.
Those
it doesn't cover the entire diocese.
Thank you.
But other parishes do have their own approach, and that's great. We embrace anything that can be done. I don't think the diocese was expecting us to take this next step and go civil, because we've always been canon law, which is a slower process, but the definitive process for the church.
All right, Mary, thank you so much. Definitely
Thank you,
something
Mary.
that we will continue to follow, and I'm sure we'll be in touch.
Can't wait to bring back good news.
Appreciate your
Mary,
efforts.
Thank you.